This is Get Inspired with Dr. Barb. Hello, everyone. This is Barbara Pucatus, host of Get Inspired with Dr. Barb, podcast on education, innovation in education. Today is a special day because I have a fabulous guest from Germany. I hope he is in Germany. I think he's in Germany today because, well, he travels too, right? So you never know. But the connection so far is very good. And I don't think that we had this topic on my podcast, at least recently, and probably we have not had it yet, about online education, especially how we educate students who take online classes at the college level. And more of them take online classes worldwide. I think this is a growing trend. I see this trend growing in all different ways in my own institution. So it's going to be very interesting to talk about it because the way we offer these courses, these programs, can either shut down the doors for education to a lot of young people or open them. So it's very important when we talk about accessibility and being like student ready. We are student ready as an institution. So that means we can serve those who would like to take online courses. But the question is, are we really? And I think that our guest today will have some responses to this, some really innovative ideas. But he has also done some work in terms of math teaching. This is also a very important topic because I think that many young students and children and teenagers, they are struggling with math. And it's not because they are either good at math or bad at math, but it has something to do with how they are taught math. I really believe it. And I see it myself, and I have experiences as a mother of a child who struggles with math. But I see some reasons for that. And again, it's not that because my kid thinks I am not good at math. There are some other reasons. But first, a little bit about my special guest. So Professor Dr. Marc Oliver Opresnik is the creator of the Pivotal Infinity Marketing Canva and founder of Pivotal Thinking, as well as founder and academic director of the Opresnik Pivotal Thinking Institute, advancing a next generation framework for purpose-driven growth. He is Distinguished Professor of Marketing and Management at the Technical University of Lubeck and Honorary Professor at New Delhi Institute of Management, as well as Honorary Lead Professor of Marketing and Strategic Management at the Prestige Institute of Management and Research in India. He's global thought leader, a member of the Academic Speakers Bureau at the London School of Economics. I should stop probably even right now because this already says so much about my guest. He's smiling already. That's a really good start. But I need to say a little bit more. In addition, he serves on the board of directors at the SGMI Management Institute, St. Gallen. I don't know if I pronounced this word correctly.
That's fine.
Thank you. And as executive director at the International Business School in Manchester. And he also serves on the advisory board of the UN World Food Program Innovation Accelerator. This is amazing because this really speaks to his just understanding of the needs in the world and generosity, right, and service. I love to highlight people who are devoted to such initiatives. And he's also co-author with Kotler, Keller, and Armstrong. He contributed to international bestsellers like Marketing Management and Marketing and Introduction. And I mean, we're not going to talk about marketing so much in this podcast, but I feel like, and I wonder what Professor Opresnik will think about it, that really in the way the world changes today and AI obviously and revolutionizing education for young people, like what am I supposed to do, right, with all of this?
Absolutely.
I think that every young person should, and I should learn about that too, learn more about these things: management, marketing, entrepreneurship. I think like these skills are going to be so incredibly important no matter where you are, what you do in your life, where you work. And we don't teach generally in high schools. These young people don't learn about it. They just don't.
True.
So this is important. So everything he's done pretty much applies to education. And also, he's the founder of and CEO of Opresnik Management Consulting and the Opresnik Business School, offering executive education such as the 8-month online MBA with leading UK universities. That's something
Also
we're going to
online,
talk
yeah.
about. Yeah, exactly. And the mission, his mission, building a better world through education. And I also love the principles. And I'm just looking at this incredible bio on LinkedIn: optimizing potentials, empowering leaders, transforming futures. And I also need to mention that Professor Opresnik is a TEDx speaker, coach, advisor, supports governments, institutions, leaders, executive, and even global brands such as Google, Coca-Cola, Porsche, and many others. And of course, I could ask a question how he finds time in every day and every week to do all of this. I would imagine that he doesn't do all these things within one day, but
Not everything simultaneously.
everything connects with everything too. But it's just really incredible, impressive, and I know he is very busy, so I really appreciate this wonderful opportunity to chat with him. And the first question that I would like to ask is thinking about education, promoting educational ideas and innovation. Why is it so important to you? Probably important to your heart, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. Actually, thanks first of all for the very kind and generous introduction, for having me on your show, Barbara. I appreciate that. So this is my turning point in life, why I became a professor, because I was starting my career at a German oil company, which was entering joint venture with the Shell International Petroleum Company Limited. This is how I came to work for Shell the last 3 years of my career in global strategy in Shell Center in London. But in parallel, I was already giving lectures at the university. And at one moment in time, this triggered me intrinsically in such a way that I decided I wanted to optimize the potential of young people, all right, help them to become their personal best selves. And I'm not saying this is better than what I did at Shell. However, it was providing me with a higher intrinsic motivation. And from that moment on, I decided that I wanted to become a professor at the university. And this is how I was changing basically my career from not from one day to the other, but quite substantially when I left London to become a professor at a German university. And it is so enriching to see young people grow. And the main event was when a student wrote me an email after many years after he left university, and he said that a certain kind of lecture on personal development had an impact on his life. And that was the reference line. Thanks for your impact on my life. And this made me really nearly move to tears, and I was really touched. And I felt, I got the feeling I want to do more of that kind of work. And this is why I changed totally from global management to global education.
Absolutely
This is,
amazing.
I never did regret this step one single moment of my life. Never ever.
Incredible. It is a lot of work to teach. I know it myself, but one time being in the classroom, right, teaching young children, that was very incredible to me. But just kind of when you advance to the professorship, so to speak, why do we do it? Because we think that we can, by influencing some of these young people we teach, they can then go, right, and influence those other ones they touch. So I think we
Yes,
kind of
yes.
have bigger impact. And this is, I mean, notes like that you received from your students, that's what really makes this work like really worth doing. Really.
Right. Absolutely. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And this is why we do it. And it is close to my heart. So my
Yeah.
profession really is my passion. And it sounds a little bit,
Amazing.
I don't know, over pathetic, but it's true.
No, it's
This is true.
incredible. We are, it's lucky to be a person who can connect that
Yes,
passion with
it's a privilege
the
as well.
job. It really is. Exactly. I think this is a very good word, privilege for sure. And I would like to talk to you a little bit more about the online learning, because we at our university, I teach, we have a graduate program for future educators, and we also have graduate program. So the graduate program is completely online. So that's great. Undergraduate is college-based, campus-based. So they do come to campus, and up to this point, they have been taking everything, literally everything, on campus, face to face, so to speak, physically. But we have discovered at the university that there are a lot of students who would like to study and become teacher, but they have some barriers that will not allow them to do it. It will not allow them to go physically to the university. I mean, let's face it, it's the cost. You have to live there. Not everybody lives close to the campus to be able to drive there. But even some of these people, some of these young people, they maybe can't drive. Maybe they take care of someone at their homes, and they need something different. So that means they need something that, they need connectivity. They need to access the courses online. So we have now a certain division of these courses. For certain students, they have to qualify. They have to show that they have the need and constraints. And they and we have this incredible sort of section where they take these classes online. So this is going quite well. I don't teach this particular section, but I see how important it is to innovate, to think of something different. And we are serving. So it's not like that's what we do and that's it. We have to think about the other side, about the students, what they need. And it seems to me that this is something exactly that you are responding to. And I would like to ask you about this 8-month initiative, how it started, why it started, and how it's going, basically.
Yeah, basically this is derived from management, because one principle in management was published in 1996 in The Innovator's Dilemma by Harvard Professor Clayton Christensen. Unfortunately, he died, and he said, with what kind of job are you what kind of job are you hiring a product to do for you, or a service? And it is this principle of start with a problem, not with a solution. So instead of just developing online courses or another MBA or DBA or whatever kind of program, we talked to more than 100 executives all over the world through the Kotler network, and asked, what are your problems as managers, female, male, diverse, right, with postgraduate diploma and education in general? And they said, no, I did an apprenticeship, for example, at this financial institution, but I never went to the university. I never made a bachelor, but I would like to have a DBA, or I would like to have a master's degree. But now it's very difficult. Of course, I can do in parallel to my job, but this is a very lengthy kind of procedure, and I have to prepare for examinations. So usually they are sent books or scripts, or they are watching videos, and they have to learn something, and then they have to recap in the exam. And this is not a very feasible way of learning in today's world, in particular not for practitioners. So what we did was, we sat together with our British partners and my international business school there in Manchester, where I'm also co-owner with a friend of mine, Professor Ibrahim Zerkachi. And we said, we have an online Master of Business Administration program, and this is comprised of 2 parts. So the first part is just you're having live webinars with practitioners. And in these live webinars, you're discussing topics. But of course, not every live webinar can be attended live if you're working. So all the webinars are recorded and you can watch later, but it's also not mandatory. And the contrast to every kind of university, master or MBA program we have is that each module finishes up with a reflective thinking report. So for example, we discuss in the webinar about segmentation, targeting, positioning in strategic management. And then you're coming from, I don't know, cosmetic industry in New Zealand, where you're working, for example, where you're based. And then the task is to do a reflective thinking report. So how could segmentation and positioning look like for the cosmetic market in New Zealand for your company, or for the company you're working for? So you don't have to learn for that. You don't have to prepare for that, right? You don't have to repeat anything. You just have to apply. And this is also what you need to do as a manager in real life as well. And you do that 8 times. So each module finishes up with this reflective thinking report, and then we are sending the people to one of our partner universities, also in the United Kingdom, online, and you write the thesis. and you can select the topic of the thesis yourself. And the thesis has to be comprised of 30 to 40 pages, and it's a practitioner approach. It's a practical kind of approach. And what I'm most proud of is that now in our batch that is running, none of the people has a bachelor's degree. Some of the people don't even have A levels. So there's 2-3 people. They left school after 12 years, right? They did a kind of apprenticeship. Some started to study at the university but dropped out. So none of them has even a bachelor's degree, but they are allowed to do master. So we are offering really postgraduate qualification to more people. We are making it much more inclusive, and we're making it online in 8 months. I'm very, very proud about that. And 1% of all the tuition fees globally, we're donating to my friends at the United Nations World Food Program. So, and by doing that, and you were talking about that in the introduction, we are combining the 2 goals of the sustainable development goals of the UN: kill hunger and quality education. We are doing the same with the books. So every book of mine, basically, that is self-published, you have the logo of the United Nations there, and every book is donating 1 meal to 1 child in need.
Amazing. It's like a circle of how it works, how it connects to each other.
Yes, yes.
And I would like to, very well thought out. And I would like to ask you, you said that some of these people, they just don't even have bachelor's degree, but
Yes.
here,
None of them have bachelors.
none of them, but
None of them have bachelors,
Yeah.
and they're all doing masters. And normally, regular universities, it's very difficult to look for equivalent qualification.
Right. I never heard of it. To be
Because
honest, I
we
never heard
value
about it.
professional experience. So if you have an apprenticeship and you have some kind of professional experience, this is kind of an equivalent, and there's no reason not to do a Master of Business Administration, which is an applicational kind of postgraduate diploma. And this is coming from United Kingdom government, so it's not a private business school or something like that. It's a government-run university.
It's unbelievable, because normally, in order to have masters, first you have to have bachelors, right? That's just how it works. But the question
that is
always
usually
is,
how it works, and how
Yeah.
traditional kind of suppliers, also in the private category, are approaching this kind of thing. But like I said, this has been developed innovatively out of the fact that we've looked at the challenges that many people have all over the world.
Unbelievable. Because
They
even
didn't have the opportunity and the money,
Yeah.
probably, also to go to the university.
Exactly. So, I'm just thinking how much more work we have to do in those colleges here.
And imagine how expensive it is in the United States.
My gosh,
If
I don't
you
even
want to
want
go
education,
to a
how
decent
much
university.
it is here. Yeah, it's a really miracle how people do it. It's all loans, and some parents
That's it.
can provide help if they can, obviously. So it's terrible. But we even, in order to do master's degree with us, you have to show transcripts from your bachelor's degree institution, and it has to correspond with education. So we do still have a lot of barriers to, and
That's it.
some of these things people don't even think about, like, because you have to, it's just a matter of, oh, wait a minute, do we have to do it, right? But nobody asks
Right.
these questions most
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
time. And here you guys ask some really pivotal questions. But you did say it's what really offers what really constitutes their bachelor, so to speak, is the fact that these people have been already working in this area.
Absolutely. They have sometimes more than 10 years of practical
I
experience.
know, they know more than people who would study for the bachelor. Just amazing. You're just putting the two together. Honestly, it's just like common sense, right? And that's really what's happening here. Amazing. But and the program itself, from what I hear, is based a lot on interactions with other people who
Yes,
are
it is.
practitioners, right?
Yeah, this is all live webinars. So it's also not a pre-recorded video. It's a live webinar where people can ask questions, and we're talking about the different kind of modules and the contents, but also how it translates to their professional life, of course, which is most useful and most needed.
Totally. It's and do they read any textbooks, or this is not so much?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So this is not mandatory, right?
Yes, and
There's also a different model, and because sometimes business schools, they're sending you, I don't know, 500, 600 pages of text, and you need to read them and learn by heart. and then you do proctoring exam, and that's it. This
Yeah.
is also how still a lot of education is done at universities, so that students are required to learn something by heart, and then I don't know, just repeat, but not
Yeah,
apply,
totally.
just repeat, and it cannot be helpful because I don't know, this is not translating into your, I don't know, daily work at a later stage. You cannot make any use of it. So if
Exactly.
you
This
don't
is
see
just
if you don't see the connection to real
right.
business life.
It's just if you are a good test taker or not, if you memorize
Yeah,
it or not.
if you're good at learning by learning things by heart. Yeah,
Oh
correct.
my gosh. Yes, it's amazing. And I mean, 8 months itself, it's such a short period of time,
Yes,
really, that it's possible to do it. And based on what you're saying, that the response to the program, to the value of the program, is pretty good. Is that right?
absolutely. We are getting a lot of students from all over the world and from lots
Wow.
of places, not only Europe,
Yeah.
but also from India and Indonesia. Correct. We,
Oh,
we just started about one and a half years ago to set it all up and to have the modules in place, to get the accreditation from the government, to liaise with our partners, with the government universities, then, which are the degree giving entities at the end of the day. And yeah, and we have now the third batch, I think. Yeah.
amazing. And do you see this model being used for other areas of education? Because this is for what? For
Of course,
business
that is for
management,
business.
right?
So it's called Master of Business Administration in Strategic Management and Leadership. Like I said, we have four intakes per year, and for companies we do special intakes, customized ones, and you can use it basically for any kind of topic. So we are also doing or trying to implement now a DBA program as well, which you can also do online. So doctorate of business administration, which allows you to have a PhD. And yeah, there are several programs also in the United States, United Kingdom. Every kind of university is doing it in some way, but we have very practical, hands-on approach to that.
Amazing. I think
But
that's
it's
something
globally
like,
accredited because it's coming from United Kingdom Government University.
yes, accreditation is another thing, definitely. But I see that this would really offer so much potential for many young people who would like to be, let's say, teachers, and just taking the whole bachelor's degree, even in that way or similar way.
You could
And many of these people are just
do that.
not able to do this for a variety of reasons. And that's why we have this online program. But I mean, the section of the program, but I see that your model can be even better because it can be even more practical. It can be without as much text reading and all that, right? So
Yeah,
much
right.
more traditional way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it more and more
We
because it's
don't we don't give
practical.
you 5 kilos of literature to learn by heart.
I mean, think
It's
about it.
purely application.
It takes 4 years for these kids to take bachelor's degree and become teachers. Four
Yeah.
years of studies, and how much that costs is absolutely just in certain areas, not
Normally
enough.
MBA takes as well. It takes another 2 years to do
Oh
that.
my gosh. And
Normally.
and that's why in some circles you would hear the education and studies that this is a scam. I mean, you hear this. You
Yeah.
hear it from people in the world. And I see how they see those things. I mean, there is no it's absolutely, we can do better than that. And now, if you don't mind, I would like to switch gears a little bit towards math, another important topic, because I can see, Professor Opresnik, I can see in my own practice, in things that I can see. So, I have a therapy dog, and we did some work with my therapy dog, helping children, young children, as young as in second grade of school, learn math. And these kids, we had a small group of children because I work with a teacher in a local elementary school. And these young children in second grade, they already go to groups of children who are weak in math. So
You're right.
they already know they're weak, and that's why they are in that group. There is no denial why they're there. They don't like being there. Why would you like to be in the group that's labeled "we are weak here," right? With math. And But it was just absolutely amazing what you can do for kids who are already labeled as weak with math skills if you make math different, more engaging, more creative. If you even like invite therapy dog and do something cool, something different, and actually something very simple, to be honest with you, and it changes their attitude to math. Totally. So I believe that it's a lot to do with, and I know that too, how you teach math. And it's possible that every kid can learn math. It can be at a slower rate or whatever, but it can be interesting to them. And I think also a lot of issues is that kids don't see math relevant because they learn math in isolation to anything else, right? Projects, whatever, problem solving. It's like, why do I learn all this complicated stuff? I just already see my daughter in front of me saying, Mom, this is like, this. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you need it for? I mean, seriously, if you don't see the relevance, then it's just, and for neurodivergent kids, when they are not interested in something, it's like they are just lost. So how did this idea with creating the math resources, and also there are some other innovative tools that you created to help additionally in digesting these math resources, right? How did it
It was,
become?
I don't know, it was kind of a project derived out of my own family kind of background, like yourself. I'm having also a daughter and a son, but my daughter, she also had a challenge
Mm.
sometimes. And I was looking at the math literature that she was given by the school, and I said, oh my God, this is so complicated. And this is so much of a thick book. So there's about 350 pages, and sometimes it's not really translating into normal life, or basically I don't know, it was difficult to understand in my humble opinion. And this is also why I thought there might be a better way. So I was engaging with one of the most followed influencers on YouTube in math in Germany, and I said, let's do a book together. He already had a book, but I said, there's no combination, there's no professor on the planet writing with an influencer a book on math.
Why
So
not?
let's start with a fifth. Yeah, it's okay. Everybody's talking about unique selling proposition. We made one, we created one. And I said, let's do a specific book so that is easy to understand. And it was derived from my series of books. You know the For Dummies series, which belong to Wiley, For Dummies? You know that the yellow
Yes, yes,
ones?
yes, of
There's
course,
a
yeah.
For Dummy book for every kind of topic area.
Yeah, yeah.
But even the For Dummies, we are living in a society where the attention span of people is shrinking, and that was recently coming out of a study of Spotify as well. And Spotify was looking at the what is the average duration of a hit? What was it like from 1960 to 70, 70 to 80? And it's continuously declining. That is also the reason why the rise of TikTok was happening, and YouTube was copying it with the YouTube Shorts. And because of that, I said to my friend Professor Hollandson, let's do also textbooks that are more comprehensive. So for the TikTok generation, and we called it Know-How Made Simple in Sprint with Fun to the Point for All. So it's always marketing in 100 minutes or strategic management in 100 minutes. So 100 minutes, you can read the book in 100 minutes because it's only comprised of 100 pages. And I went to the YouTube influencer, and I said, let's not just do the book, but we link it to a playlist. So for every kind of book for fifth class, we have a specific playlist. So each chapter is covered by multiple videos that have already been successful, right? Coming from this influencer.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
we have a special kind of playlist for the book, and within the book we have different kind of QR codes, so where you can scan it with a smartphone, and then you can have the video explaining precisely what is written in the book. So it is a different kind of way. In addition to that, as we're living in the AI age, I think we also had some kind of an innovative idea, because we were having the AI Google Notebook LM creating podcasts for every chapter. So you can listen, instead of listening to music or I don't know, to an audiobook, you can listen chapter wise to math, but in a funny, entertaining, easy to understand way. So this is another feature we have in the book. So every chapter is covered with a podcast. And that is also what we're using at the university. The books always are bestsellers in the
Wow.
German market. And we
Absolutely
already have
amazing.
now, I think, 4 or 5 books in the
Wow.
math
I
series.
mean, creating the idea, getting together with the influencer, why not, right? And basically just connecting what you're doing, what he has already done, essentially, too. Now, what
Yes.
about the podcast? Like you both kind of speak about,
No, no. We
how
had
does that
the
go?
no. We had really. We had the AI creating the podcast. So we
Yeah,
were really utilizing Google Notebook LM to
yeah.
do a podcast for each chapter, and this is what we provided to the people free of charge, in addition to the book via the QR code.
What's the name of the tool for creating the AI
Google
generated
Notebook.
podcast?
Google Notebook LM.
Okay, and that
That
can
is
create.
that's the interface which allows you to do via Gemini, etc., infographics and podcasts, etc.
So I would imagine it kind of works a little bit like ChatGPT. That means like you like
Yeah,
enter something and you say to do that thing, hey, create a podcast based on this information,
yeah,
right?
that's
And
it.
it's
That's what we
amazing.
did. That's what we did. Yeah, and it's amazing. We also
Very
use
cool.
it at the university for inverted learning.
Wow, because I mean, podcasts are, I mean, people can listen and they can.
I'm having all of my script. So in the Corona days, we of course we were compelled. We had to stay at home. We had to do this online learning, and which was also a good thing because we learned a lot on how to engage online with the people, with the breakout sessions, and with the, some people never heard about Zoom, but suddenly Zoom shares were up, and everybody heard about Zoom and whatever, and Teams and WebEx, etc. And this was a great time. It was a sad time, but it was also a great opportunity for us to develop these kind of tools out of this kind of, out of the pandemic age. I had all my videos recorded. I was paying one student to coach me in OBS Studio, Open Broadcaster Studio. And I said, I want to have professional green screen, like a moderator, everything like that. And I had a gamer coaching me. So I was recording all of my videos in a kind of professional way. So the first ones were a little bit so-so, but but as time was progressing, they were getting better and better. I was getting better and better. Our technical support was getting better and better. So I was having all of the videos recorded and put it on online on my YouTube channel. We were asked to create a YouTube channel by the university because cloud space was kind of limited at the university in the Moodle server. And I'm very proud. I was just looking recently, last week, on my first business lecture on business administration. Now has 250,000 downloads.
It's
It's 250,000.
amazing.
So it's the most watched, I think, business administration video, I think, on in Germany.
It's
Coming
amazing. And
from
like
coming from a professor.
you
Yeah.
said, I couldn't do it on our university, so I just switched there, and you never know what can happen, right?
But we were asked to do really to do it. First, they said, "Oh, you need to put it on the Moodle and
Yeah.
using Big Blue Button," but Big Blue Button was not able to record that lengthy videos, and I was really doing normal sessions, so 1.5 hour videos basically.
Yeah.
So, but it was a huge success. And now in today's world, we said, and some people said, yeah, it's a bit lengthy, etc., whatever. And I'm driving to the university on the bike, and I cannot watch the video. So, and of course, I cannot watch the slides. We used the AI and all the technical features it encompasses to have all of my lectures at the university, chapter by chapter. We had audio podcasts being created with the AI, and I'm telling my students before we meet next time in class physically, please listen to. It's always 25 minutes. Listen to 25 minutes of audio podcast, and then we just discuss and apply to a case of Coca-Cola entering Indian market, and people love it because they are prepared in class, and we have all this, what we always dreamt of, this inverted learning, flipped classroom. Everybody's talking about flipped classroom, inverted learning, but it's very difficult sometimes to do it because if you ask students, I don't know, read 50 pages in my book or in the Kotler book, right? I've written with Kotler. People say some did it, others didn't do it, but 5 minutes of just audio and you can listen in the metro. It works quite well. And that is a good way. It's a very contemporary, very modern way of doing that.
Totally. It's the length is, but it's also audio. You can drive the car. What I do when I drive my car, I listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
That's what I do,
Same. Yeah. Same.
right? And
Yeah.
it really works. And so the students are looking also for these ways. Podcasts are pretty popular these days.
Right.
So I think it's just a way, and of course, in a way of using the tools to create these podcasts. It's all about, I
Right.
just recently found out about a platform. It's called, I think, Gamma app. You can
Yes.
create PowerPoint presentations also just like by entering something and it's like
It's
create
incredible.
and
Yeah.
telling this thing, right, do it for me. And
All
like,
right.
no, change it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can create cool PowerPoint presentations. And in like such a little amount of time, or finally change the presentation that I have and have been used and didn't have time to, make something cooler with them, right? Because it takes a lot of time. Absolutely amazing. I want to ask you a quick, if somebody goes on your channel, what would they see there, what they can expect? Because I know it's in two languages. My audience is primarily English. Like, how would
Right.
they, what would you tell them as far as like navigate and what to kind of like,
Right. I have also a lot of English
yeah.
lectures at the university. So sui generis, I also have a lot of recordings in English out of the sessions. So, for example, marketing I also do in English, or
Yeah.
product and business planning, successful negotiation, etc., etc. So there are. I don't know. I think it's equally distributed,
Mm-hmm.
basically, German and English as well. So
Great.
if you go to the YouTube, you will also find a lot of English content as well. Because I'm
Awesome.
also that was very important to me, and this is how I came to meet Phil Kotler when I was leaving London to go to university to become a professor at the German university. Didn't make any difference whether I would have been working for French or for UK university. It would have been the same. So I wrote. I wanted to grow and also to coach and I don't know, to develop the potential of people not only based in Europe or based in Germany, but I want to do that on a global scale to some extent. So I wrote to the two most distinguished professors in my category, which have been Michael Porter and Harvard at the Harvard University in strategy, and Philip Kotler in marketing. And Philip was so generous and he was mentoring me, and ever since I've been working with him. Best wishes, Phil. And he just came last week. He just became turned 95
Wow.
years of age. Yeah, right. And this is how I worked with Phil, and this is how I also managed to become honorary professor at I don't know, at several universities in Delhi and elsewhere, and how I got this global impact. Also with
Yeah.
the United Nations, and this is a very enriching kind of way for me personally, because I always enjoyed working for Shell in London. I always enjoyed diversity of people, individuality, and working across levels and cultures. It is very, very enriching and very rewarding.
Completely. And I love your attitude too. It's just, okay, being professor. So what does that mean, that I only have to collaborate with other professors and publish in a peer reviewed journal? There's so many other ways we can be in academia involved with, and we can make a bigger even impact, because I think ultimately it is about making an impact in the world. That's why
Correct.
we're doing what we do, finding new ways, more creative ways, and ways that just kind of
Truly
drive
agree.
us.
Therefore, I was also writing popular books and popular
Yeah.
textbooks. Some professor
Yeah.
colleagues at the university, very distinguished ones, they're saying, all right, oh, you cannot do that, I'm only into journal publishing. But journals are read, any kind of academic journal is read by 0.0000001% of practitioners.
Yes.
This is only 99.9% are just academics, and that is okay, because we need these researchers as well. So I don't want to demote what they're doing, but for me, it was not my way. So I also published a lot in journals. However, my main focus one was on having an impact on how management and business is taught, to inspire future leaders for purpose and for thinking beyond the bottom line of just being the bottom line, just being profitability, but
Ex-
having an
ex-
impact and a positive means on the world we live in, and a
Exactly.
responsibility as well.
And in order to do this, we have to be on social media and we have to do other things and publish in other more creative ways and reach
That's it.
out to, yeah,
That's why I started TikTok channel as well, and you find me on the Instagram. And
I'm not on TikTok yet. I'm active on 3 platforms, and I said, unfortunately, I can't start another one. My daughter constantly telling me,
all
"Mom,
right,
well, that's on TikTok." But
all
I'm
right,
not there. Mom, you should be there. Okay,
all
are you
right.
going to be manager of my account?
Yeah, why not?
You know,
Yeah,
let's see
correct.
if they become more serious about that, then yes. But for now, just have a, a lot on my plate. But I also wanted to ask you, what's next for you as far as the development of your current initiatives, or maybe there is something else that you have, sort of like boiling in the
Yeah,
brain, because I'm
this
sure
was.
you do.
Yeah, you already mentioned that in the introduction. You can see it in the back in my green screen here. So I was talking to Philip. I said, Philip, we need to invent something. We need to be really driving things forward. And a lot of tools in modern contemporary management, they're not holistic. So they focus on operational or on a strategic aspect of management or marketing. But what I always liked, and best wishes to him, and he endorsed our book, John Elkington, very early said, we need to have a triple bottom line, not profits. So always when I was working for Shell in London, what's the impact on the bottom line in the business case, etc., etc. So we were just looking at net present value, net income after tax. So this is the bottom line. But Elkington, early on, he's the inventor basically of modern contemporary CSR, corporate social responsibility. He said it's about 3 Ps, not profit alone, but we also need to look at the people and at the planet. And you know about climate change, and read it again this morning. And so we wanted to have an encompassing model, and this is what we did. And we called it Pivotal Infinity Marketing Canvas because for the first time ever, we were liaising the corporation or institution, which you can see on the. It looks like a little bit like one guy told me it's angel wings.
Yeah, I love that comparison.
But we liaise the sphere of the corporation with the sphere of the stakeholder, the customer, through the infinity symbol. Therefore, it's called Infinity Marketing Canvas. We said you need to start, and the model is called Pivotal, and the P is for purpose. You need to start with the purpose. That is also what Simon Sionic was very early stating in the Golden Circle. Start with why. Start with the purpose. Purpose that is going. Why is your company or organization existing beyond making profits, beyond profitability? All right, and that is what, for example, Patagonia said. We are in business to save our home planet. So every kind of turnover they're doing is going to fight climate change. So that is their purpose. It's not to sell you another pair of t-shirts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the purpose. And then the I is for innovative solutions. So we look at the problems of the stakeholders and we solve them innovatively. Then we have value proposition, positioning, and then the O is for outreach and communication. T is for transport. And at the crossroads, at the intersection, we have all the micro and macro environmental forces that are shaping the organizations and the customers and their behavior. And at the customer's side, we aim for A, for advocacy. So we want to turn customers not into just buying with us or, I don't know, attending our course just one moment in time, but we want to turn them, we want to win their loyalty, and we don't want to do it one moment at a time. And that is the last one, the L for pivotal. We want to do it over the lifetime of the consumer. And this is what you know in strategic management, what we call customer lifetime value. And we have always this iteration, right? And if you're very, very careful looking at the canvas you can see in the background, the colors of the starting letters of pivotal, they are taken from the SDG. It's the only book on the planet that is also endorsed by the United Nations, by the World Food Program. And we are very proud. It will be published by Wiley and Sons later this year, all over the world. And we published it already, Kotler and Hollandsen and myself. And it's a very comprehensive model, which is for the first time ever looking at normative management, purpose and the mission and the vision of the organization, the operational aspects, of the business, but also the strategic aspects of the business, all in one unified tool. And we are very proud about that. And that's also why we are rolling out the Opresnik Pivotal Thinking Institutes all over India. And we have it in St. Gallen in Switzerland. We have it in the United Kingdom. And this is also how I became a global thought leader at the London School of Economics, with this new kind of approach of thinking just beyond profitability. CSR is not a new invention, of course, and we didn't reinvent the wheel. But I think we have a model that is calling more for purpose-driven leadership and management. And we're just getting a few people trained like that, being impacted by the book or by this kind of approach. We'll be happy. And I'm very, very proud to finish that. That also John Elkington is endorsing the book, or was endorsing already the book, together with also my friend Marshall Goldsmith, the #1 leadership coach on the planet. He calls it the future compass of management in general.
When is the book coming out?
The book is, I think it's on the Wiley site, and it's supposed to be coming out in October. It's already available on global Amazon because we did it first as a kind of self-publishing kind of endeavor. This is what Osterwalder and Pigneur did as well with the business model canvas and value proposition canvas. And later they were having Wiley to publish the book. So it's coming out by Wiley in October this year.
I would be happy to, draw.
You can already find it in the Amazon right now.
I have to check it out. Thank you so much for telling us more about it. I see this is an incredible initiative, because this is about making a change in the world at so many different levels and areas of life.
It is, yeah.
It really is huge. And I see how your connection and collaboration with United Nations is sort of impacting the direction of but also you impacting them, because you are bringing your expertise and you're helping them.
To some extent, yeah. And the Wiley book is actually, it's featuring a case only from United Nations. So the self-published book has the Patagonia case in it, how to run the canvas using the example of Patagonia. But for the Wiley book, we have exclusive case from the United Nations World Food Program Innovation Accelerator.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I would like to ask you, before we finish our really fascinating chat, a lot of young people, as I mentioned before, graduating this year from high school.
Right.
Can only imagine how many, even just alone in the United States. I mean, many of them in this area of AI being already a part of our lives, and then changing lives in ways that most of us can't really even fully comprehend yet. Even those who say that exactly know what's going to happen, I don't think they really do know. But so again, cost of studies, colleges here in the United States, we already mentioned this, and I know that in some European countries, these costs are not exactly zero, but things are changing too. And it's a difficult question probably, what would you advise to a young person who is graduating high school this year, and they kind of lost? They don't know what to do. Maybe, they don't know if they should do college, maybe not. If there is something, maybe there are some free resources. There is something online. Everybody's got cell phone these days. I mean, we can't deny it. What can they do to kind of stay on top of things, educate themselves on their own way, connect with other people, to just kind of not waste the time before they start maybe doing something concrete?
Right.
Maybe they should try some internships, different jobs, but at the same time, they should keep educating themselves in all different ways. And there is so much access to these ways, but there's a lot of stuff.
Couple of things. I mentioned that also in my TEDx talk, how to become your personal best self. So first, I think what is very advisable, what always helped me a lot, is that you need to follow your heart and intuition, your passion, right? You need to do something for living which is close to your heart. Then also you're working with your blood and sweat and tears, like Simon Sinek always states. And I think this is absolutely paramount, because you don't want to work in a job later on which is just paid and you're working for the paycheck in order to spend a living. I know it sounds a little bit pathetic again, but I think it's quite true. It's also what Steve Jobs was saying in his very famous speech in front of Stanford graduates. You got to find what you love, and that is as true for your lovers as it is for your work, because the work is going to fill out large parts of our lives. So we shouldn't waste it doing some kind of work which we can do but we don't love doing. And that is also what Gallup is always US based institute. Gallup is always asking: is the company giving you every year the option or the possibility to do what you love to do? And they call it the Gallup Engagement Index. And it's very, very low in Germany and other countries as well, parts of the world, because people are saying, oh, whether I work for this kind of financial institution or for this kind of apparel, I don't know, company, I don't care, as long as the money is okay.
Right.
I would always advise you to look at what are your talents. What is your strength? Strength is always comprised. I don't go too deep into my TEDx talk, but strength is comprised of three things. Knowledge, you just read some books and watch some YouTube videos or TikTok videos or whatever, right? Experience grows over time, and talent is given to you by nature. Everybody's talented, and Einstein said, I love that quote. Einstein said, everybody is superior to me, Albert Einstein, in one respect. Therefore, I shall never look down on everybody. But if you ask a fish to climb a tree, the fish will think its entire life that it's stupid. So don't try to be a fish to climb a tree. Do something what you can, where your passion is, where your heart is, and that is very important. And then look for, and that is what I did as well, look for mentors. Look for people who can inspire you. You can contact. You can ask for advice. And I'm coaching several people also, having left the university long ago, like the guy who was writing to me in the email. Thanks for your impact on my life. And I'm continuously coaching young people. And because I was coached as well, I did profit and also mentored by my friend and father of modern marketing, Philip Kotler. And this is what is very enriching and what is rewarding, and it's also helping you to grow. It's like like a flower, and probably you're right small at the beginning, but you need the confidence to follow your heart. And I think what is equally important is you have to stay curious. You have to stay hungry. Also, that was addressed by Steve Jobs as well. Like a child. That is also what I admire looking at children. And I always try to be like that as well. So always curious, try out new things, and things fail, and that is okay. But you try out and you try and never stop, right? Never stop learning, never stop to develop. And this is paramount in today's world, where there's a constant change, and the change is unprecedented, what we're seeing right now. And technology is moving so fast. It's always been moving fast, but now it's even moving faster. That now, even 3 days ago, Anthropic was asking other AI companies and saying, oh, probably we should pause or we should slow down the development, because society is not developing equally fast as technology right now. And we cannot foresee all the impact, like this, what you said, Barbara. We cannot foresee all the impact it has on the labor market.
Maybe
right?
they should
It's
hear.
not to scare anybody.
Yeah.
However, what will absolutely be true is you need to continuously develop. You need to continuously innovate as well, personally.
Incredible and rich piece of advice, really, because there's so much unpredictability, but there is always something you can do, spend your time on, to invest in yourself. And I think this advice can save a lot of people from these regrets, because I understand that they want to go for jobs that will just offer financial security. But if you only think that way, that after a while, you just find yourself in this unfortunate situation when something is missing, right? When you don't feel that you fulfill yourself.
Most people are like that.
Yeah.
Most people are looking back on your life, and that's a very sad thing. They said, "Oh, now I start living," right? When they retire at the age of 65 or 67, depending on the country, and that is very sad. And that is that is very, very late.
It can
life.
be late.
It can be
late.
And you can work around that, or try to do that a little bit like that.
Exactly. At least if you try, at least if you know this, you know this, before you hit your like middle age or whatever, right?
Yeah.
At least you tried and didn't work out. You go to
Yeah, and financial compensation is a good thing, but it shouldn't. I don't know. It shouldn't compensate for everything. So, I always, that's very important. I need to say that. I always like the question. I don't know who brought it up first, but I think it was Warren Buffett, and he said it's a very easy kind of a question. Let's assume I give you $10 billion. Oh, you want 20 billion? I give you $20 billion on one condition. You continue to work 10 hours per day. What would you like to do every day?
Yeah.
But you cannot sleep, right? And that is a very good question. If financial considerations don't matter, what would you like to do every day?
What would you choose?
And most people say, I want to write children's books. I want to,
Exactly.
I don't know, I want to educate old people. I want to, I don't know, play with the young people. Whatever. I want to be a painter. I want to be an actress. I want to be, I don't know, a singer, a dancer, whatever that is. I don't know. But that is very, very sad. And that is also one aspect why we have so many people having boredom, or we have, I don't know, burnout. We have all this mental disease as well. So not everything is due to that. Of course, I fully understand. However, this is an important aspect. Because if you always every day work some kind of job which is not close to your heart, it's not enriching. It's just, I don't know. It's
I
not
totally agree with
suffocating.
this. And if we can, send this message to young people, if they know about it a little bit earlier is better than later, then this is
Earlier is better than later. And I
it's
accepted a
important.
dramatic decline in my salary when I was coming from Shell London to become university professor. I was, I don't know, whatever, more than 50% of the salary was cut, basically. But it was okay. And
Wow.
like I said, I never did regret this kind of a step.
I mean,
Because
you
it
are
gave me so much, it was so much more
Yeah.
reward and
I mean, you are
intrinsic
approved.
motivation.
You are approved. You've done it. You've made this move from this one type of career and accepting less, like you're saying, less financial reward. But then you saw other rewards and you feel happier. You are the
That's
proof
it.
of this
That's it. That's
attitude.
it.
So it's really important. That really gives a message, and that was a great way to end our chat because it's an inspirational part of your career that probably really led you to all these incredible, wonderful things you're doing now because you understand what it does and how it really fulfills you. I really appreciate it so much. And I would like to ask you, Professor Opresnik, if you could tell our audience where they can follow you. We already know that you're also even on TikTok, but if you could mention all the platforms you are on.
Yeah, you can find me on the LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, separate YouTube channel as well. We can share later, probably in the video, my link tree with all the links I have to the website. And
exactly. Thank you so much. And our wonderful
thanks
audience.
for having me.
You're very welcome. A wonderful audience. Thank you so much for being with us today. Please follow Professor Opresnik, check out his incredible activity, and follow the show, Get Inspired with Dr. Barb, so you never miss an episode. And let us know what you think about the conversation, about these ideas and issues, and a hope for the future. And we'll see you on social media. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye. God bless you.
Bye. Thank you.
you.
You're welcome. This is Get Inspired with Dr. Barb.